right, another day, another engine change. So we just got all of this bullshit off. More and more, this truck isn't going to be redone. Like you can see, all the wire harness is like eaten up from the battery acid that was in here. So a lot of this stuff we're going to clean up and do the best we can and throw it on, well, throw some of that stuff onto this motor. But you guys get the point. There is a lot of battery acid in here. Like all the harness, like some of the wires look good, but then other ones don't. So as we start pulling this thing, I'm gonna get this moved over and get the converter bolts out. We are gonna be dropping the trans. Probably gonna leave the downpipe on, I'm not sure yet. But I think we're gonna end up using that turbo because this one's kinda like eaten up a little bit, so. All right, we should have this motor out within about an hour and a half, 2 hours. All we gotta do yet is the converter bolts. And there's one fuel line back there I can't get the clips on. And I think that's actually about it. Oh, the power steering lines and then the motor mounts. And then this thing's ready to just up and lift out. So like I said, probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours, we'll have it out. It's kind of my goal there, so. So before we get the next part of this video started, I want to show you guys this with those spotlights on the back. When you hit the lights, it comes on with the domes. But the cool part, you guys check this out. If I come in here and those lights should turn off. Here, let me just look. So you guys see the lights there. If I turn on a dome light, like say I'm driving down the road and I turn on the dome lights, they won't turn on. But if I use that little button there and I push it up to turn them all on, it'll turn those on. And then it's separate from the way reverse lights. So guys with their high beams on, what I'll do now is I'll do this to give them a warning that their high beams are on. And if they still don't turn them off, then we give them the big one. Because before I was just giving them the big blaster, which is down here on the cargo light, and you just turn that on and bam. We've got the heater going, so don't mind all that. It's like 37, 38, it's not bad. So I had to be off for about a week or so I'm finally getting back on this project. We literally only had those couple of things to do in there. I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna keep the camera over here, and I'm gonna show you that I had to go back and do the seatbelt thing. So I put a butt connector between, just cut the connector off. So we're gonna be fitting this thing out later on tonight as well. I got a little bit of a road trip to be doing, so I wanted to see how these would stay back here, and it did all right. So I'm gonna start fitting that out before we leave tonight. I don't have any of the clips other than that. Bringing the welder with us because we may or may not need that in, I don't know why they're, oh yeah, that's right, I flung a bunch of mud. Forgot to show you guys that. That was a whoopsie. I gotta get Bertha all cleaned up. Been loving these things, even though I did drop this one. It still works great, and I've been using that as the puddle light, and that puddle light is way more effective than the puddle light that was like just this little thing. So kind of like that. Might add one later, not sure yet. But besides that, I gotta get motor pulled tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, but it's like 10, 11 o'clock at night right now, so we will be back. I'm gonna probably work until about 4 in the morning, go home, go to bed, and then I'll be back probably around 11. Gonna finish all of this up. Basically, the goal for this is to just get the motor pulled and get the back inner wheel put on the front. Unfortunately, someone put 22 millimeter lug nuts on the back of this when they're supposed to be 21, and my socket's stuck, so I had to get another socket. I gotta shave that down, pull the wheel off, and then I'll pound this off from the back. I still got the lug nut loose, like it's loose on the inside in there. At least it'll be loose soon, if you guys can see in there. But that's the thing. Once I get that loose, I gotta get all the rest of them off so I can get this one off. The front tires on this thing are absolutely shot. And then we're gonna tie off the wheels, tie off the steering, and then we're gonna tow this thing back. I think it's like 2 hours, so we're gonna pintle tow it. Hitch is still good. One of the reasons I didn't want him to destroy it. We got that, gotta break off the spacers in there. People saying spacers are not strong and spacers don't hold up. You see what this guy did to this truck. I think he said he ran it into a 40-foot container and just smashed the shit out of it. And the spacers did not break. So there you go. get this motor out. Oh, we also got to pull the transmission in the transfer case. So all that stuff's got to come out too. So once we pull that back around, I'm gonna throw all the wheels and tires, all the scrap and the trash in the bed. Again, sorry about the quality. Ugh. We got the motor coming up. The only thing is I gotta pound that back bolt for the motor mount. That needs to come this way. That bolt was fine. We got the cab up. You guys will see. Heard something pop right there. We got the trans all disconnected. I don't know if you guys can see it. Probably not yet, but we're slowly getting there. Also, that cab mount is completely gone. There was zero reason for me to unbolt that one, but in case you guys wonder what it looked like if a cab mount's missing. So all I gotta do yet is pound that bolt and then we'll pull this engine up and out. It's ready to come out. I have put a 19 millimeter on it and then used the jack handle and spun it as far as I can before it finally just popped, and it's still not moving. So with that being said, that is the only holdup that we have to get this engine out. So I'm gonna probably try to spray it with penetrating oil. Not that it's gonna work. Somehow we gotta bust that head off just to be able to get that up and out. This is a common thing with these. Luckily, the other side went no problem, which I would have rather this side been the hard side, because at least this side you can shove a socket in. This side, not so much. So I've tried doing it. Something to check out as well is, look how easy it is to move that frame rail side to side. So this is pretty good just as a parts truck. So I gotta figure out what to do to get that bad Larry out of there, because unless that bolt head moves a little bit, there is no way that we're gonna get this engine out. So what I think I'm gonna do, spray it with PB Blaster, get Bertha backed in here. We gotta work on some of the service stuff. And it is 12:50, so we have plenty of time. I might go get some food, potentially go get some food, because I'm pretty damn hungry. So Sheetz is right up the road while we, I forgot to turn that light off, damn it. While we wait for the PB Blaster to go through, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the back wheels, I'm gonna start messing with those. I have another 22 millimeter socket. I'm gonna take the bike down, go put some gas in it. All right, we got the bike back, and I went to, like, I put like 10 bucks in it, 2 gallons, something like that. And then I'm like, I left with my food. You guys can see over there. And I was on the phone with my brother. And I was like, do you think they'll care if I do a burnout? Second I say that, a cop flips around the corner and pulls into Sheetz. Also, one of my bolts went missing. But luckily I didn't. And then when I pulled in, I did one. And then when I pulled over there, I did another one. And then I put it back. Thing runs good. Thing runs really good. So, still waiting on some stuff. We're going to get this whole back here squared away. Not worried about this because, like, I can just throw rust inhibitor on it. I kind of want to get this layout all set up, figure out how I want to do this. I need to put these chains somewhere, and I won't lose them, but I don't want to throw them and mix them up with all the other stuff. Eventually, I want to upgrade the Trailblazer to a Bobcat and flip it around. I noticed this is a terrible setup for, like, I want the controls to be on the driver's side, but it really didn't work out that way because the oil filter, the gas fill, all that stuff is on this side, so I'd never be able to fill it. So eventually would love to upgrade to one of them, but not going to be anytime soon. All right, so here's where we're at with the mobile setup. I got all of, you guys can see the lids over there. I got all of them cut off. Everything is, I haven't even bolted anything down, to be honest, but like everything is tight. Like this can move side to side, and then this, but everything else is tight. We've got our torque wrenches, a full set of wrenches on both sides. These two didn't fit. Any electrical stuff, any screwdriver bits, screwdrivers over here. I got that for a valve stem. Any of the electrical stuff, more electrical stuff, multimeter, like everything I'm pretty much going to use. The only thing is I do have a couple of tools out, so there's going to be a couple more things that do go in here. I don't know if I'm going to pull all this stuff out, you know, once we do the thing. I'm going to take a picture of it before I, paint everything. But pretty much this should close. I gotta figure out what, something's holding it back. Could be this here, but it might actually be this one here. I hope not. All right, so here's where we left off. I got the engine out, but I took a hammer to this and smacked it into the upward position. I don't know how long that'll last. Like if I haul something, that's definitely gonna be a problem. But for what I'm doing here, that makes it perfect. So this clears, everything clears. And then over here, we got the engine out. Took the down pipe with it. That's a performance down pipe. So we're gonna be taking that and putting it in the new engine. This turbo and manifold are getting replaced. Pretty sure, aha. So this manifold warped and snapped a stud in the head. I was wondering where the stud was. I'm like trying to screw it in back here to go off of one of these, which we bent that one and we bent that bolt, but we have new ones over there. So that turbo is basically gonna go over here. And then I just gotta get this trans out, which I'm gonna do that tomorrow. You can see we made a pretty big mess. So I'm gonna throw some sauce down, drop that, and then tomorrow, well today technically, but I gotta get these back wheels off. So she's out. I'm pretty happy with that because I've been fighting this thing. There's been so many little ends. I ended up just cutting the bolt head off because let's face it, first of all, that motor mount's shot. It's not supposed to be cracked where it's at. And cut that coolant line. We're gonna take a lot of parts off of that other one. A lot of stuff's coming off of that one over to here because of all the, you can see it, the battery acid and whatnot. So let's get cleaned up. For a lot of the other stuff, like the big stuff, I will be taking my cases. So like I'm not bringing Allen wrenches with me because I have this stuff here. So I don't really have a good place for this stuff yet. I got to figure that out. I might do like a little bit of a rack underneath there for some of that stuff. Just like leave it out in the open. I'm not super worried about it. But we have that. Sockets, I got rid of one of the socket sets that I have and moved it all onto this. So this, I'll just take the whole thing with me. And ball joint press and some of the other stuff if I need it. So, all right, let's get out of here. I'm gonna go throw them in the burn barrel. All right, put a bolt back in that. Trying to keep you guys updated. So what I did was I have that box there, that box there, that one there. And when I feel like opening it, I'm gonna put this in there. I'm just gonna set it there for now, and then all my power tools can go in here. And yes, you guys might think, well, fun fact, the sockets fit back there. So we're slowly coming together. This, someone left this in a cart in Walmart, and I kind of just have it now, so I've just been like throwing it in the box. One day I'll need it for something. I don't know what, but I'll need it for something. But everything fits in the truck. The only thing I don't like is that the welder faces this way, but you guys see the gas tank? Like, that's annoying. How much gas do I even have? I don't even know if this thing has a gas gauge. It just kind of like, when it's done, it's done. I do want to re-weld some sort of like exhaust to like put it away from me. And then pretty much this thing's done. Well, so is that too. I wonder if yep. God, that's going to get annoying. Oh man, there's water in the fucking cylinder again. Yeah, I need to fix that or cover it soon. You can see all the water on the spark plug. Luckily, the starter is not strong enough to skip this thing over. So, I'm gonna get out of the way. Yeah, it literally sits like right on top in there, in that little port, and just fills with water. This is the second time. Okay, I think we're out of water, and that's gas now. So I'm gonna put that back in. I should have turned off the fuel, to be honest, but I'm pretty sure that after the water's done, that's all gas coming out of there. You guys saw how aggressive that was. So it's only this side. The other side is perfectly fine. I think what we're gonna do too is pull this muffler off in general one of these days. Like once we do the thing, come on, give me that. Then we're gonna modify this muffler because this thing is absolutely loud as shit. All right, she runs good. Oh kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So I just need to know that every single time I go to start this thing, I need to make sure that there is that spark plug's removed if I know it rained. All right, so we took it on a drive. It's the next day, and nothing moved. So it's a good sign. That means we did pretty all right with the organization. That means everything's tight. The only thing that's really going to slide side to side is maybe these two things here. I did end up putting this in here because I had to open it back up. So I got to get in here just to pull this trans out and shave down a 22 millimeter or 7/8 socket. And I got to clean up the rest of this transmission fluid. I put a bunch of that shit down yesterday, but, you know, it only puts